Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am going to be taking you all with me as I water the garden this evening. We were expecting some rain today, and it was kind of like a few drops, and that was it. Not really enough to do what we needed done. And we don't have professional irrigation. You know what I mean? That is something that we are going to be checking into very soon. So we have to hand water things for now. And some of the irrigation things that we have tried, we don't feel that they are sufficient. So again, we are checking into things, especially for the back part of the farm. We have to actually pump water back there to get those things taken care of. And with all of this toasty weather we've been having, you got to make sure everything gets its proper nourishment, and its water, and its sunlight. So what's going on here is in these blue pots, we have a lot of bell peppers. Of course, our flowers and things are in these areas too. But in the blue pots, we have bell peppers. And so, got to make sure that this stuff gets its water. Now, it's late. It's almost 7. It's not quite 7, maybe 6:45 or so. So whenever you're dealing with a situation where you're not getting a lot of rain, typically what you want to do is water either early in the morning before, not before sunrise, but just when it's, just about to be sunrise. Okay? Or late in the evening. I prefer late in the evening because the sun will be going down, and that water that you put on your plants, on your garden or flowers or whatever, it is going to be able to sit in cooler air and make a difference. So I'm not going to talk throughout this video. I'm going to do, a lot of watering. And so I'm just taking you all on the walk with me. And I may just let some of the sounds of nature take over. Now, everyone, for the most part, we all get out and we water various areas. Okay, the children are in the another area watering. We have several zones where we have to water, several. We do have a hose that goes to the backfield, same connection like this. And we also have the blue containers as well. So between the hose and the blue container in the back, everyone goes back there and takes care of what's going on in our row crop area. So I'm going to get those 3 watered, all 3 at the same time. We have some great surprises for you all in terms of things and different projects that we've gotten done. I've had this little beauty for a few years now. It's a chair planter, and the blue fescue grass that you see growing in there has been growing in there for years. It comes back every year, seeds up as well. Now this particular plant right here, this is some type of fern weed. I'm calling it a weed because it wasn't something that we went and purchased and planted intentionally. Last year was much smaller than this, but Sophia had given me a piece of it because it was in her area. And I said, I love that plant. She said she loves it too. So what I did was I told her, I said, give me a piece of that. So last year when I brought it to this area, it was 3 times smaller than that. But As you see, it has really grown a whole lot. So I'm satisfied with the growth of it. Looking really, really full. It does look a lot better when it's a little smaller because you can see all the hollowness in it now. But when it's more like balled up, it does look better, but I'm still happy with the way it looks now as well. So we recently relocated this arbor. It was in another area. But we brought it here to go around this walkway here. So here's some more bell pepper plants. Getting all of these watered. Again, that water will be able to sit overnight. Taking advantage of the cool night versus having the sun. Look at that huge bird. I don't know if you're, well, it's a crane. Okay. I'm wearing my camera on my chest, so trying to lean back and let you see the bird was a little more difficult. And make sure these have plenty of water. Again, these are my bell pepper plants. I have these planted all over the place. I have bell pepper plants everywhere. We'll be able to take some to our other farm, our other land soon. Let me get this angle shot to get that further away plant. Sometimes you need that further reach. I have to change the dial. Okay, so I love the way my hollyhocks, you see the flowers there? That's hollyhocks. They come back every year and they bloom so beautifully. I love the way it looks. The hibiscus haven't started to flower yet, but you see the plant right there, and there's some on the other side as well. Those will start to flower soon, and I'm looking forward to that. There's another hibiscus right there, and that's my yellow rose bush. Our rose bushes we had to trim back tremendously because a lot of the tops had died, but it started to send up new shoots, and so we're glad about that as well. The red rose bushes, I think, bounced back pretty good. This one, I think it used a little bit more shaping, if you know what I mean. That's a nice hollyhock there. Hollyhock plant is beautiful, beautiful flowers. And it's got a whole lot more blooms up top there, you see. Now our tiger lilies, we have tiger lilies all over the place, front, back, sides, you know. And it's just, everyone has them in their areas for the most part. What it is these kinds of plants spread so much that since we've been here, we've been able to just dig up some and put them in other areas. And wherever you put them, they spread, if you know what I mean. These are just now starting to open up, and a whole lot more are going to be opening up. As you see, there are a lot of buds on top ready to open up. Get a little bit of water on these. And there are heucheras right there. The heucheras come in many different colors, and we have many of the different various colors that they come in as well. I know having an irrigation system is awesome and everything. It really is. I can imagine it saves a lot of time. But let me tell you something. I actually look forward to coming out to water the garden sometimes because it gives me that quiet time of reflection, if you know what I mean. I don't look at this like a chore. It is a necessity, but I don't see it as a chore because it's something I enjoy doing. Of course, I do realize that it would be better to have something a lot less time consuming, but again, I enjoy this. So over there, those are some of the green heucheras, and they're starting to seed up on top. You could take those seeds at the end of the season and store them for the next season and grow your own from seed. And those right there are some of the flaming red celosia flowers, which I love those. I love to get those every year. I haven't been able to grow any myself because for some reason I can't seem to find anyone who sells the seeds. Okay, so now I'm going to go to another area. Got to walk the hose back this way. We have some hoses right here that need to be repaired. So they're just kind of on the ground there, so that they're not out of sight and out of mind. These are some of the purplish looking sweet potato plants, and we have these in pots. I'm sorry, I was bending down to get that flower pot up. Right here, we have an old sink that we're going to be using to have a washing station for some of our vegetables. So that's just sitting there for now until we get going on that project. Okay. So we have ginger planted in these. They haven't started to break through yet, but they are planted. And we are anxiously awaiting them to pop through. So we have these 3 pots here that have ginger in them. And then we have some other pots in the herb garden area that have ginger in them as well. Okay, Sophia has this, we actually got this hammock. It was given to us, and so she power washed it, and now she's letting it sun dry, so that's why you see it there. So I think I'm going to head over this way next. Again, I'm just taking you all on the walk with me. Get some of these things watered. We're working in the herb garden. We have a lot of changes we've made over there. A lot of the pots are going to be removed. Haven't had a chance to finish up the job yet, but we will. Okay. So, you put it on the angle spray. That allows for it to go a lot further. Okay, let's get some water over there. We sure could use a dousing of rain. You know, we always appreciate that, and I'm sure the garden does as well. The flowers and the food always appreciates a fresh rain. I mean, you can water like this, but there's nothing at all like a dousing of rain, nothing at all. So you see the 3 pots that look alike there. Last year, that drought took a lot of things out. See, all of them used to be as full as the one in the center there. This one didn't come back as strong, but these were all 3 the same things planted in them. Notice that one doesn't have anything growing in it. Nothing at all. So last year's drought probably took it out. And doing a lot of driving around, going from place to place, we have been noticing a lot of evergreens like this one here. You see this evergreen? We've been noticing a lot of evergreens, pines, and different arborvitaes and pines and hollies, just different types of plants that normally stay green all year long. We've been noticing that they have been completely wiped out, dead. Today we went somewhere, and these people had a line of these right here, these evergreens, and the whole row of about 20 or more trees that was like a dividing wall between their property and the neighbor's property. It was completely dead. They were completely dead. And I said that's a huge financial hit, as well as a lot of work with getting those up and getting them replaced. That was years of growth just wiped out with a drought. So in a moment's notice, a whole lot can happen. This is why we have to stay in the know and understanding what the Most High is capable of. He is the one who controls these things. You see, it is what it is. And this is why we've got to stay prayerful. We've got to stay prayerful. Even with something like this, Abba Yah, send the rain. We need the rain, right? There's nothing wrong with praying and asking for the rain. We thank him for the ability to still get water on our plants and even for ourselves. But still, the rain is great. Now, one thing I want you to notice, this area right there on the ground that I'm watering now, that is a natural ground cover that grows in this area. I love the way it looks. This was black mulch that was here previously, but actually brown mulch. But we love the way this natural ground cover looks. Sometimes when nature takes over, we don't have to interfere. Now, of course, the mulch that we put down add some beauty and appeal as well. But sometimes what nature puts down is a whole lot better, if you know what I mean. Okay. We put this row in last year, as you see. It's a lot more lush. Or was it the year before? It may have been the year before, but it's getting thicker and thicker and more lush as the years go on. We just put these pencil plants in this year, and we also put the grasses in this year. So what I typically do is I count to 10, usually in my mind, on these. These bugs keep messing with me, but that's a part of it, so I'm not complaining, but I have to shoo them away. Hannah, do you copy? Hannah, do you copy? Hannah, do you copy? Aliyah, come here. Aliyah, what are you doing right now? Okay, tell Hannah to come here when you get a moment. Okay, so now I need to put it on that level. Things that have been planted this year we pay more attention to because it takes a moment for them to get settled in, and so we pay a lot more attention. These have been there for a while, although I will give them water too. I pay a lot more attention to these new plantings. These all literally just went in within the past few weeks. These were a few weeks ago. These were a couple of weeks, and that's been days right there. So they get a lot more attention than these right here. But I will go ahead and give them some water. Since it has been a few days, it's actually been longer than that. It's been more than a week since we've had any rain. So you have to step in when the rain doesn't come. Our fountain there has become unlevel, so we need to stabilize the ground. I remember what happened when we did that. We should have used rocks and not sand underneath it. Can't build a foundation on sand, that's for sure. We didn't think it would affect it too much with the fountain, but as you see, it has. So we will have to level that one day soon. Again, these more established plants are not as in need, but we still give them some water if it gets too. It's a lot easier to set up a sprinkler in this area, but like I said, I don't mind taking you all for the trip with me. Now, I'm quite a ways into this, you know, and I probably have at least an hour more time. So I left off, let me get back to these. I left off here. I have at least an hour more worth of watering to do, so I may not take you all on the full thing. We'll see. It's up to you if you want to watch it, you know. This is just our daily routine for now until we come up with a better system. Irrigation systems take time. And so we are definitely checking into some irrigation systems that would definitely require a lot of time to be set up. They require a lot of time. And so that's something we're going to have to check into and commit ourselves to when the time comes. Because I could certainly see where something like that would be helpful. Because every evening we may not have all of this time to do this, you know what I mean? But you have to make the time if necessity calls for it. Okay. But yeah, a sprinkler would certainly make things go a lot faster. Is Hannah in the back with everyone else? Okay, so let me come over here now. Some watering done here. I'm going to use the shower. Now this is one of the castor bean plants that came back. It actually didn't come back because they're not perennial in this area. There was a seed that fell in this container and it just settled there, and now here we have the plant growing. This is the result of seeds that were planted here last year as well. Some fell to the ground and established themselves, and they're coming back. We harvested most of our seeds, and we have them planted in various areas on the land here. So we're hoping to get a far better yield than we did last year for the castor, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful plant. And this thing grew so tall. For those of you who may remember the video, it got to be close to 20 feet tall. And I hear they can get up to 40 feet. And so we're looking forward to seeing how high it gets this year. Again, for these plants that are a lot more established, that have been here years, they don't have as much of a risk as the plants that are newly established, like the salvia plant that we put in the pot there. And even those, because those are in pots, they require a lot more attention than those that would be in the ground there. And so this fountain grass right here, you can barely see it because it's a burgundy look next to the brown mulch. It kind of gets lost a little, but it's going to get really tall and get these really pretty seed formations on top. And so we just planted those, so we've got to make sure they get plenty of water. The hostas that are in the big pot there too, same thing. Because it's in a pot, it requires a lot more attention than something that is not in a pot. And so even with this one, I got to put it on the angle dial to reach that plant. See, the sun is getting ready to go down, so it's getting a lot cooler. So the water that we give to the plants is definitely going to be well received. You can tell we've been moving things around. We haven't had a chance to place these yet. They were blocking the driveway, so we had to sit it up here, and it hasn't been put back down yet. We're going to situate them into the area that they're going to be in permanently. Working on so many projects at the same time. It's really fun, but it's a lot as well. Hey there, Sadie. Hi, baby. Hi there, girl. Hi, Sadie.
Mommy, did you call me?
Yes, come over to the herb garden.
Okay.
Grab a watering can, too. Hey, Sadie. So we are going to introduce Sadie to you all soon. She is a beautiful, beautiful puppy. We enjoy having her around. We've only had her 3 days, but it's been so much fun. She's a beautiful dog. Beautiful pup, should I say. She's going to be a big dog, though. The guy we purchased her from says she is going to be about 80 pounds or more. Between 70 and 80 pounds. Hi, girl. How's my girl? Hi there, Sadie. Now, Mommy's going to turn that water on you and you're going to take off running. Hey there, Sadie. Oh, you washed your hair? Oh, okay. It looks pretty. I'm just going to have you, those grasses that I can't reach with the water, I'm going to have you, yeah. Fill this up for you real quick here. Hey there, little one. Are you helping them to water too? Oh, you already did. Okay. Wonderful. Huh? There she is right there. Right there, look. And the other plants that are on Papa's workshop porch, you could just get some water from that little pond there. Okay, there you go. So I planted some rosemary right there, and I have some in another area too. This rosemary is looking kind of hurt, okay? But the rosemary I have planted on the patio. There's a raised bed that's on the patio. Those are looking great. So I'm wondering if the wood chips are somehow affecting the growth of these here. So now we have these as well. I planted lavender. We still have a lot to clean up around here. We're working, like I said, all of this stuff was moved out of this area. You see it's kind of clear. It was de-weeded, and we still have to de-weed this portion. But all of that over there has been cleared. The pots have been moved, so we're going to have to reposition those to where they should be. Like the red pot over there and this red pot. This one we have sweet potatoes. I believe Georgia Jet sweet potatoes planted in these. So we just kind of set them off in the area. And for those of you who don't know, sweet potato leaves are edible and quite tasty. We have turmeric in this pot here. It's showing through a little, so I need to put some more soil on top there. And this is my ginkgo, one of my ginkgo babies that's about 3 years old now. It was braided. It's getting pretty big. She's growing pretty big. We braided 3 together, so you see how the formation of the trunk is going to be really unique. This is basil. Need to get some more basil seeds in there because it's not as full as the other pot over there. Okay, this is another pot with turmeric. Needs be topped off again with some more soil. So now let me get back to my lavender. I like to count to 10 again in my mind, or sometimes out loud. Okay, and so this is my chocolate mint here. I have it in 2 pots, and the pots are brown, chocolatey, chocolatey looking flower pots for chocolate mint. And of course, mint plants are so good, so delicious. You can chew on them, but of course, they are excellent for making tea. So you just fill the pot with water and it soaks through overnight, and you are good to go. This is one of our pink lemonade blueberry bushes. Okay. All right. So now let's go this way. So here's some more Georgia Jet. Sweet potatoes in a pot. These go behind us as well. We just moved them over here again. We were clearing the area, and so a lot of stuff was moved around, and we need to put it back. And then we have these 3 pepper plants. And alongside, I see a celosia plant. It has made its way in that pot there with the pepper. So I may have to relocate that. We have, that stuff grows everywhere. It can get out of control if you let it. But I'm not too concerned about it because it produces such a beautiful flower. But like I told you, over in the blue area, we have a ton of bell pepper plants everywhere. They're in pots, they're directly in the ground, they're in raised beds. So, yeah. I'll come back to those that are covered right there. I like to get this stuff as furthest back first. Okay, so those are green beans that we have growing in pots. We have those planted everywhere as well. Some are actually ready for harvesting. Not in this area here, not in the pots, but in our raised beds. Those are in the area that Watchman's going to be watering. Everyone takes their little section or sections that they water. I see the little one is running and playing with the other little one, Sadie. Go ahead, Sadie. Go ahead and run. Oh, she found those eggshells. We've been having some major issues with, now these are onions, y'all. Some weeds have grown up in those, so I'm still just going to put a little water on them. But we've been having some major issues with raccoons. We have caught 7 or 8, I mean, just recently. And of course, we take them and we humanely let them go as far away from us as we can. We have corn planted in various areas as well. I put some in these raised beds. I put some in the other raised beds in the back, and we put some directly in the ground. So we'll see what kind of yield we get this year in the corn. Like I said, most of the time when I come out and I water, this is a time of reflection for me. It's mostly quiet time. And I really enjoy it. Of course, paying attention to the activity around me, whether it's the children who are finishing up their task, playing with the animals, or animals walking by, flying by, or whatever. Hearing the birds in the distance sometimes. We may hear the goats in the distance. It's all very interesting. But the sounds that I love the most is when the Most High speaks to you concerning anything that He wants to say to you, or just a conversation that I have from speaking with Him. You know, there's an old song that says, "Now let us have a little talk with Yahushua. Tell Him all about our troubles. He will hear our faintest cry and answer by and by. Feel the prayer wheel turning and know the fire's burning. Have a little talk with Yahushua and makes it all right." Of course, the Christian song didn't say Yahushua. It actually said JC, but we change the words up whenever we sing the songs. I know we could stand to give it a lot more water, but because we're doing this in the evening, we're just making sure that there's going to be water that can soak through to the roots. That's pretty much the concentration, giving it bits and bits at a time until the rain falls. Everyone's method is different. Some may say stand there and douse it good. But my thinking is this: we could probably get away with that with the things that are in raised beds, but those things that are in containers, not so much. Because containers are much smaller, so they are not going to hold as much water as these big raised beds that have layers and layers of soil. See, the thing is, these are connected to the soil underneath. So even though it may only be 6 to 8 inches of soil on top there, it still connects to the soil in the bottom. Hey, be careful snatching on that when they're playing with toys. You don't want to hurt their teeth trying to take the toys from them, okay? So always be careful with that. Remember, she's just a baby. She's a big puppy, but she's still just a baby, and you don't want to hurt her teeth. This one was looking kind of sad yesterday, so I decided I should give him a dousing. Even though this is directly in the dirt, giving him a dousing of water is going to prove to be worthwhile. When those flowers open up, this is a beautiful, beautiful plant. It started off pretty small too, but as you see, it's about 3.5 feet tall. Pretty good for flowers. And this grass as well. I wish we had gotten more of the stems from last year out of there. Usually when you cut away the old grass from last year, it looks so much prettier than the coming year. And so all right, so now let me get some of the things that are covered here. So we have these covered for obvious reasons. Those are white butterflies. They do a number on your brassicas. A lot of your greens and kales and broccoli, and they don't too much mess with your lettuce. Like a lot of your greens and your broccolis and cauliflower, oh, they tear into that. So we tend to cover these. Now that's what we're doing. We weren't doing it last year, but we decided this year that we're going to try to save our crops from the pesky white butterflies. Get away. Get back. Gonna have to teach the dog that this area is off limits. Right now she's a puppy roaming and trying to learn the ropes here. She plays with the cats. Some of the cats don't tolerate her playing, and some of them are more tolerable of her. Okay? Now she's getting away. She's like, okay, that water is keeping me away. Let that water sink right on in. Okay, so now I'm going to have to switch that to angle. Like I said, this is a long process getting this stuff watered, but it has to be done. It has to be done. This is not optional. Okay, if you sleep, you weep. You know what I mean? That can mean not watering it. That could also mean not de-weeding it, not tending to it at all could just mean disaster. It could also mean allowing the animals to get to it. I think I'm going to go on the other side and get some of this stuff. Well, I guess I'm reaching from here, so this is good. So if I turn it flat, it gets more of them. It gets all three of them. So let me just sit here and do my count. Okay, so I am going to try give some of them a little of the angle as well. I gave some to the first one, so that focuses it more on one. Okay. All right. So let's move over here to these three here. And I'm going to put it on flat for a moment, and then I'll give all three of them some individually. Okay, so now we put it on flat. I'm sorry, angle. We're going to put it on angle. Get that one some by itself. And get that one some by itself. Okay, it's time to harvest some of these greens. We're going to be harvesting some of these soon and cooking them and jarring them and making these beds available. You may just let them go ahead and go to seed and just harvest the leaves, because we got plenty planted right now. And there comes a time of the year where you have to hold off on certain things to plant and wait for late summer so you can have a fall crop. So now, let me get this back to shower. Did I already do these? It looks like I already did these. They could be still moist from the watering we did earlier today. Because it looks like it's still, yeah. I'm just going to give these a little bit. The soil looks pretty happy right now. Yeah, I can tell. These are citrus trees, and then I have some olive trees. Okay. Okay, so these mosquitoes are out here. I'm going to have to arm myself real soon. So we did dig up some of our smaller banana plants and put them in this pot here. Let's see what happens. These right here I need to go ahead and deweed and get something in them. There are some asparagus plants in them, in some of them. But it certainly could use some other plantings. When we took the asparagus out and raised the soil level, they didn't come back as strong for some reason. So we probably should have left them alone. We may have to start all over with the asparagus in these pots here. So now let me get to this area here. That's it. It's a lot, y'all. I'm already close to an hour into this. Not quite, but close to it. And so this is really a time-consuming thing. But like I said, I don't complain about it because I use this as my time to reflect. I'm just talking to you all now just to show you what our evenings look like sometimes. In the mornings, they're usually still good, but from time to time, certain plants, I will give a morning hit to, especially these that are in these pots. The rain, it will fill these up for us, but when it doesn't, we have to stand here and fill them ourselves, and I haven't done that. And so what I'm doing now is just taking this time to give them this nighttime watering. I may just assign that job to a little one. It's such a simple task to do. To stand here and fill up those bottom trays, you know. We're always running around doing so many things. Watchman and I and the older children, that to stand here and just fill these with water, it's a trip, you know what I mean? I'm even doing this. It's quite a bit, but like I said, I use this time. This is my opportunity to reflect and have that quiet time. Okay, we did some de-weeding earlier, so the pile of weeds are still there, and that's okay. We will get to it. Okay, so now my hose is getting tangled up on things. This is my little salad bowl. It just kept growing in so full, so now I'm just using it as an ornamental. As you see, it is planted inside of an old fire pit. Okay, Gotta untangle my hose here. This is in the way. Okay, see if I can get through now. So this is the cinder block raised bed that my sons built on the side of the studio porch here. And I have herbs planted in. I have carrots. I put my grapevines. I put some morning glory, bell pepper, and I also put some radish in there. So there's a lot going on in this area here. I put marigolds as well. You can see some of those are starting to bloom, blossom. So let me get some of this dill weed. Dill weed is so tasty. Have my lemongrass there. And I have some tomato plants in there. I have some cucumbers in there. And on that tower there, I'll go over there and I'll have a easier time watering it going up on the porch. So what I'm gonna do is get this stuff on this side first. Okay, they put some of their weeds in my pots. Okay. So this is some thyme, and I put some ornamental grass in the middle of the thyme there. Strawberries. So let me put it on angle. That'll get a lot done. Same time, just going back and forth. The dog was trying to go into my greenhouse, so I had to get her with the water. She gotta learn. She's a sweet girl, but she's gotta learn. No animals allowed in the greenhouse. Those cats learned too. They went in there. Mommy had the water. I sprayed that water on them. They were like, okay, time to go. This is clearly off limits. Okay. Most High willing, tomorrow, little one, I have a task for you. All of these containers with the trays underneath, you're going to fill the trays up with water. Oh, it did? That's interesting because the water pump is still working. We'll see for how long. It's like, that's weird. 2 power outages. I'm going to keep on watering then until the water stops, I guess. I'll get inside this greenhouse real quick and get as much as I can. I haven't toured you all through the greenhouse yet. They actually filmed the process of the young men building this. Okay. We'll just try to get a quick sprinkling on everything while I can. Okay. With this greenhouse build, I had the young man leave me a side door there too. Let me see if you can see it. A side door, so if I'm doing anything out in that area, as you see, just shooting the water out there, I'll be able to have easier access instead of going all the way around. I can go through the little side door there. My little one came in here and she unlocked that side door, so I'm going to go ahead and close it back because I don't want any critters getting in here. Just a little simple door. Put a lock on it right there. Okay. Okay, so, oh, the water hose is raking over my plant there. I gotta be careful with that. I'll walk this way. Okay, now I can force the hose back this way. Sometimes it grabs a hold of things. So you're gonna get the other side. I've been walking, and so far it's been an hour and 4 minutes. That's why I say this is a long, long task. Yeah. Whew. But it's a necessary task, and I'm just taking you all along for the job. It's a long job, but someone has to do it. So we all take our areas and our regions and we make it work. Everyone takes their little section and we walk around and do what it is we have to do. No complaining, just specifying what needs to be done. So these are the towers, the hanging towers. I have herbs planted in these. Various herbs. And got to get the other side over there too. So let me put the angle on to get the far-reaching things over there. That thing spins whenever I water it. Okay, so this one I gotta do like that. Okay, so let me go to the other side and do this water tower. I'm sorry, this plant tower, should I say. Walk this hose this way. That's one of my citronella plants right there. So I am about to wrap things up. I am officially finished.